Hey, what's up, guys? I just came outside and there's deer out here. Let me know if you can see them. You see those two? Was that one, two, three? Hold on. I just walked outside right now to these deer. Hold on. Oh, you're starting to run. You see that one? He's hanging out. What's up, man? Good morning. All right, guys. Well, good morning. Today is June 2nd. We got a cameo from a deer. I think if you look back at a couple videos, I did say one morning I'm going to come out here and I'm going to see something. Little family of deer. Okay. So today there's kind of something that was on my mind this morning, and especially with my son graduating tomorrow, and just, I guess, as a parent, my wife and I, you start reflecting the decisions that you made as a parent with your kid. And of course, none of them, not all of them are going to be perfect. But one decision that I believe we made that was hard in the moment, but I feel good about, is not letting your kids make all their own decisions. And I know that kind of sounds like, hey, they should be able to choose what they want, and they should. But as they grow, they should be learning and getting experience that hopefully we've already had. And is it the old school, our parents, do it because I said so, or my way, or the highway? No, it's not that. They should be able to choose direction. So I kind of compare it to, they should be able to choose the restaurant, but if it's a restaurant that they've never been to, that we've been to, we should help them order off the menu, or at least explain some of the items on the menu, if that makes sense. Now, if we keep letting them go to McDonald's over and over and over and over again, they know exactly what's there. Of course, this is metaphorically. They know exactly what's there. They know what to order. And they don't really expand that, right? They do the same thing over and over again, and they hit their ceiling of nuggets and fries. Maybe they get excited from some branding of the new McDonald's, whatever the commercial is. But if we don't bring them to the new restaurant and explain some of the food that they haven't tried before, how will they know? So there's been plenty of times, and I guess I'm talking about all three of our kids, but specifically, our oldest, who's graduating tomorrow. There's been times where we may have I don't want to say pick the direction, because we didn't pick the direction. He's been able to choose the space that he's wanted to go into. We've maybe made sure he's held up his end of the bargain of commitment. And as all of us, when you're growing, you want, even working out, you may hit a certain time or level or weight and be like, okay, that's enough. But if you don't have that person saying, I'll get up one more and spot you, you don't actually really grow. You just keep hitting your ceiling. So, deer back there. So I wanted to kind of just talk about, like, as a parent, like, it's okay to push your kids in a healthy way, or make sure they fulfill their commitment. or make sure that they try new things and push them out of their comfort zone. That wasn't always easy, wasn't always fun conversations, definitely wasn't always the fun dad or the fun mom while we were pushing our kid into something that they said that they want to do, and we're there to help them get up that last rep. So just as parents, like, do you guys feel that kids should be able to, choose their life, choose what they're going to follow, and just kind of really create and curate their own life? And at what point does a parent step in and start helping with the details? Or do you believe a parent shouldn't step in at all and just let the kid create their own path, independent of the parent? For me, and what's working for us, and we're still in the game, so what we believe is working for us is for them to choose their space. And once they're in their space of their interest, is for us to expand that space, grow that space that they have chose. I don't think it's a good idea, just because I may have an interest personally in something, that I should push that interest on my child. I don't think that's a good idea. But once they've chosen their interest, their space, I think it's really important that the parents make sure that the kid upholds that commitment. So I guess I'm just kind of reflecting on these things a day before his high school graduation. For me, my parents, the way I was brought up, they kind of let me pick my space and just run with it. Supportive, for sure. My first show, my buddy Trek on here, he'll tell you, my first show was at 16 years old in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm out there, I'm from New York. So we won a contest online. This is like right in the beginning of music being online and stuff. We won some sort of online talent showcase, and it was for the people who won, maybe it was monthly or something like that. You came out and performed in Cleveland, right by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, my parents drove us. Me and two of my friends who performed with me, they drove us. There was no, hey, do it this way, do it that way. It was just like this blind support. Hey, we don't know what you're doing. We don't know anything about it. We just want to make sure that you get out there, you're safe, you're in a hotel. I mean, to be honest with you, I was 16 years old after the show. We were moving around the city of Cleveland. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, I believe, which, like I said, is working for us, is to let the kid pick the space, but then bring your experience, some of your characteristics into it that are kind of just like pillars of success. And you only know that they're pillars of success because, we got all the bumps and bruises and scars to prove that the other way doesn't work. So I kind of compare it to bringing a kid to a new restaurant. You wouldn't let them just order, the menus in a different language and all that kind of. You're not going to just let them go ahead, have at it, and he's asked the waiters for nuggets and fries or chicken tenders. So I say that to say that our son's path has changed a few times. Not the space, but just the path of how he's trying to get there has changed a few times. And there's been times where he said, okay, no, I'm not going to do this because the path is changing. And it sucked to be like the one be like, nope, we're staying on this path, because you could see the disappointment in your child. And we don't want to disappoint our kids, but we know that the disappointment today, compounded with our support, gets him to where he needs to be. It's not disappointment and then just leave him on his own. It's, yep, what I'm telling you is disappointing you today, and now let me support you through it to get you where you say you're trying to go. That's one of the things that frustrate me whenever, not my kids, but when people say, hey, I want to get to here, here, and here, and these are my dreams, my goals, my aspirations. And then they call you to see, one, if you could help, which I'm down to help. Two, if you could support. Hell yeah, I support. And then they don't do any of the things to get them to the place that they told you that they wanted to get to. And then when you start saying like, hey, are we still doing this? You're the asshole. Again, that's not the situation with my kids, but if you say this is where you want to go, as soon as you hit some resistance, that should really just be a signal that you're on the right path, because anything worth getting to, you're going to hit resistance. So for me, as I get prepared for tomorrow, I guess I'm okay with those tough conversations that ultimately left our son disappointed at times. And I hate that he was disappointed, but as long as we continue to support him to get him to where he says he wants to be, I think he'll appreciate it in the future. So I'm gonna go hit the shower, start getting ready to finish around this pool area. Let me show you. So we got to put stone all around the pool, some plants. Hopefully you'll be able to see some progress tomorrow. I think yesterday there was a video of me shoveling everything out, all the grass that was torn up. All right, man. Good luck on your day. I'm gonna get mine started.